So in my last video, I said that in this one, I was going to talk about another scammer I encountered. But while this one in particular failed to get a single penny out of me, it did kinda trick me long enough for me to make a specific breed of advertisement that I'm not very fond of. But let's start from the top. Recently, I met a person online who was on a group page calling for help because they felt like they were going to end their life. I pretty much thought they were a scammer from the moment they started posting about being depressed because it was happening in a group for agnostics. You know, not for mental health issues or anything like that. So anyway, Shut the fuck up! That's not what the video's about! There was a part of me that figured the post could possibly be an act of desperation, especially because it was 5 in the morning. I don't know why I was up, don't ask. So I contacted them, asking what was wrong. At first I was worried that I was just a few minutes too late because I didn't hear anything back for several hours, but I finally got some feedback. The person's name was Barnabas, a gay man in Tanzania who lost his livelihood due to increased violence against the LGBT community. After I listened to his story, he said he felt better, but eventually he told me that he needed money to move to Kenya so he could receive assistance from the UNHCR. The only reason I believed in his story at all was because he wasn't too offended about me not having any money to give him and appreciated having someone to talk to. As I said in my previous video, scammers tend to just get pissed off when they realize that they're not going to get paid. Barnabas also sent me his ID and other types of personal information in order to confirm that he was a real person. He told me about how tough it's been for him to seek help. He mentioned reaching out to organizations such as Rainbow Railroad and how he raised money to move out of town before, but he needed to pay for quarantining, and when I looked this stuff up, it held water. I came to the conclusion that Barnabas really did need help, but I don't know, let me steal a joke.
These are some of the poorest people I know. They're broker than the Ten Commandments.
Since there was nothing I could do myself, I set up a GoFundMe campaign for him. Obviously, I don't really have the biggest following, so I created a short animation of his story to help grab people's attention. He was super excited about the project and absolutely loved the cartoon, but it didn't work at all. People did see the video, but no one donated as much as a single cent. And Barnabas was up my ass about this constantly. That he kept looking over the campaign, but there was no money in it, so I should give him $1 or $2 to tie him over for the winter. Even though I told him several times that I'm
broker than the Ten Commandments.
He just kept asking, essentially using this tactic.
Really now, you can't keep that up forever.
Yes, I can.
This is the long way of saying that Barnabas no longer wanted anything to do with my good company. Anytime I tried to inquire about his physical well-being, he had nothing to say except that he was on the verge of death, only to be online the very next day, posting about how he was going to kill himself after Christmas. Then after Christmas, he was online again. It's almost as if he was some kind of scammer who found out he wasn't actually going to get any money. There is another person that Barnabas has talked to that started a GoFundMe campaign for him. That one did get some money, but it never reached its goal. I was able to talk to this person and ask if they were suspicious of him, and they stated that his profile is the reason why they believe in his story. Under normal circumstances, the profile would convince me too, but if you saw my last video, I learned that there are people who dedicate their entire lives to just scamming people. The same way Bovarley loads his personal profile with BB makeup lies and other entertainment subjects, Barnabas loads his profile picture up with woe is me posts and gay rights subjects. So for the most part, I don't really think Barnabas is a real guy anymore. Yeah, he showed me his ID, but I would expect Derek Savage to do the exact same thing if it meant he was getting $600 out of it. Not to mention that for a homeless guy, he sure likes to take a lot of pictures just chilling out in his house, which has been the same since 2021 from what I can see from his posts, which only exists from 2021 to now, by the way. The only thing that makes me question myself is this picture of him with a broken nose. Either there's a really good makeup artist out there in Tanzania, or in the most fucked up region of the Matrix, I somehow actually ran into two scammers who are just profiting off of semi-real situations and base their entire lives around it. This is like the opposite of a Christmas miracle. It's like a Christmas nightmare. like a nightmare before.
Bottom line, copyright infringement is stealing from someone. It's just as if someone came in your house, ripped off your stuff, and then went to sell it.
So yeah, this story is kind of short, but the question is, if I actually had money, would I have shared it?
It's too close to call. I don't believe it. Close to call.
My current situation is real, for one, and for two, it's really fucking bad. I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I really don't want to give away money right now, even though it's something I genuinely like to do when I have the means to do it. But at the same time, I'm a little naive, and my mushier side gets the best of me sometimes. The animation I made is very simplistic and kind of kindergarten level, because I felt like I had to make it as quickly as possible. I believed that Barnabas needed money right this instant, so I worked really hard to make a compelling animation really fast. And in a way, I'm kind of glad that this happened because I was at least able to show myself what I'm capable of in a short period of time. So maybe I would have given him the money, or at least what I could spare. But then again, earlier that same year, I had just experienced this scam, so maybe I would have been more inclined to do more research. It's not like my guard wasn't up the majority of the time I talked to this guy, so it's actually pretty hard to say. Because I made an ad of my own for a cause, I was going to talk a bit about charity ads and how I dislike a very specific breed of them, but the two topics ended up clashing with one another, so I decided to just be informative in this video. Not to mention that the subject is so niche that I don't really think it was worth it in the first place. But if Kevin Perjurer of Defunctland has taught me anything, it's that extremely niche interest can become one of the greatest videos of all time. So if that sounds like something you would like me to cover, let me know in the comment section. Overall, I would say if someone randomly messages you asking for money, then it's probably best to assume that they're a scammer. After all, I'm in a pretty bad position myself, and even now, I don't really see myself doing something as desperate as asking literal strangers to give me money.
I'm not trying to bug you, babe, but I just got money days, and I need some money to buy candy bars. No, I'm not trying to bug you, babe, but I got money today, and I need some money to buy candy bars.